Stefan Hartman, the Iron Direct Primary Care Podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm here with Alex Cunningham, my fighter, here at the Iron DPC gym. Alex, I got a couple questions for us. I just watched the UFC fights last night, and you posted a reel. You predicted every fight. How'd you do that?
I listen to a lot of other opinions, other coaches. I watch a lot of film. I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff. I really like to get into the weeds, and I think about all possible outcomes. So it doesn't always happen that way, but on that night I was right. So
All right, well, that's pretty good. I guess all the bettors in the chat need to be paying attention to what Alex has to say about this. I know some friends who could use your advice. They just lose money.
Hey, I'm always posting the pics, so
That's great.
any fight day, go to my page, you see it.
Yeah, so Alex, you just finished training, and what does a typical day of training and recovery look like for you?
It's I try to keep it somewhat of a routine, but it's different sometimes. I train with a couple different teams. Today I was over with Control Jiu-Jitsu, working with Josh Goodyear, going over some game plan stuff, hitting some pads, getting some movement cardio in. Came over here, did a cold plunge, got some red light therapy, probably hit a sauna later and get some yoga in today. A little bit lighter day, and I know during the week I'm going to be pushing it hard. So it just depends what team I'm with, but I like to tailor my stuff to as we get closer to the fights, to more fight specific stuff. But it's a little bit different every day.
So fighting is a lot different than tennis, because in tennis, I don't know who I'm going to play. You know who you're going to fight. It's scheduled. You have a fight May 30th down in Fort Pierce. You know this fighter. So does that change your type of training that you do?
I try to keep my skills sharp and look for ways similar to the betting. I look for ways, how can I finish the fight, or where is an opening that I feel like I can exploit? Always path of least resistance. So you worry about you, but you also got to take into account a little bit of the other person, you know? So it's a little bit of both. You got to focus on yourself, but you'd be a fool not to game plan for someone else.
No, right, of course. I want to talk a little about your journey from like esports to MMA. You started at PlayStation Pro in the EFC Esports League, and that was your stepping stone to the cage?
100%. Yeah. Actually, my sister, she bought me the UFC 3 video game. I think it was actually UFC 2. I started playing UFC 3, but I was still playing college basketball at the time. So I was just a fan of the sport. That's how I got into the sport. Started watching. And then from there, when COVID happened, I just kind of no-lifed. It was UFC 4 at the time. I kind of just no-lifed the game. When it came out, I was playing probably an unhealthy amount. It's probably like 6 to 8 hours a day, but that's what it takes to be the best at something. So I was in there all the time, and UFC sponsored an esports league, and I was able to be a part of that. It's the top 16 guys, each console in the world. So I got to play in their first esports league, but after I got done with it, I've always been a competitor, and I was like, I don't really like playing video games for a living. Like your self-worth is kind of tied to a virtual screen. It just doesn't make you feel good. Like I got to the top level, and it's just like empty feeling. It was like, this isn't worth doing it. Let me go do this in real life. I'm an athletic dude. I like the sport, so let me go try it. So I stepped in, got my first jiu-jitsu classes in like January 2021, right after the esports league ended. But from there, I just kept competing and ended up here.
That's fun. What a story. Did any skills transition over from esports?
100%. Making reads and just like I had a viral knockout but it's just me being able to see, okay, in the game, this guy slipping his head this way. You're making those same reads, and it felt like a video game when it happened to me. So it was kind of weird. It was surreal. It's like, oh, this actually translates. Like watching people's patterns and pattern recognition, I think is big in fighting. So even if you're just doing it subconsciously, I think that's a big skill that definitely transferred over.
That's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's talk about some of your career. Your breakdown record is 3-1 amateur. What have you learned from the wins and the losses?
You learn more in losses than anything. My last one, I don't feel like the wins are cool, but it's just like the last loss sticks with you more than anything. And I don't feel like I performed to my best. I put on a good show, but yeah, I mean, just not my best. I didn't have to. I I kind of gave the fight away in my opinion.
I thought you had it. I was down there. That was in Hollywood. I saw you. You took this guy down, and for a moment, I felt like you hesitated a little bit there.
Yeah, when I knocked him down, I kind of just. It's almost like I surprised myself, but I don't need to be surprised. I got to know how good I am.
Yeah.
And moving forward, I just got to come much more calculated. But you can't learn those lessons unless they happen, right? There's no 15-point shot in basketball, but there is in fighting. So that's just an adjust. You can't have any mental lapses. And I think from that one loss, I think I've grown so much.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I think about it from tennis. Sometimes I'm not aggressive as I should be. Like I hit a great shot, it goes down the line, and I'm like kind of shocked by how good I was. And then I should have gone to the net and finished the point. The point gets it back, and the point continues, and maybe I lose it. So you need to have that aggression and the confidence in yourself. Like, hey, I can do great. I need to go and finish that.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But learning lessons, right? So I'm still young in my career. You're gonna make mistakes. Unfortunately, it kind of costed me the fight. But if I don't make that mistake, I don't realize those adjustments need to be made. So I'm excited to right the wrongs in the next one.
Yeah. And all your matches are film, or fights are filmed, so you can watch it, analyze it, and train. How does watching the film help you go back and change what you're training?
I did a lot of. I thought I fought okay, but I did a lot of things wrong. Just being more in tune with more so than even my skills, just being more in tune with the moment. I don't feel like I was too in tune with the moment. I threw a couple kicks when I didn't need to kick. He took me down off of those and was able to capitalize. But just going back and adjusting, and then when those things happen in training, you're in your mind, you're like, all right, I can't do that again. Or you have certain things that you'll never do again, or you make a point to emphasize when I'm drilling this or whatever. You're putting a lot of drills in because you don't have time to think. It's just whatever you're training, that's what's going to come out. So making those points to really correct those things while you're training and be mindful of them when you're training is I think that's the biggest way to improve from there.
All right. What can fans expect from the May 30th fight down in Fort Pierce?
Every time I fight, it's exciting. I think you can expect dominance. I'm always going for the finish, even though I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. Like I gotta be more calculated, more composed. But I'm always excited. That's just my nature. I like to compete, but just fireworks. It's always exciting when I'm fighting. Win or lose, it's always a good show. So,
yeah, for sure, I'll be there. I love it. Let's see. We talked a little bit about the training, recovery, and optimization. How do you like the cold plunge here, the red light therapy?
Man, it's amazing. It's really game changing. The cold plunge you definitely feel when you don't do it. The red light is everything. Everything here is what you really need as a true professional. And this is a great facility. I love it, man.
Yeah, I love it when you're here. I love seeing fighters here training and recovering. Let's see. Talk to me about your nutrition, sleep, anything you're doing outside of this.
Nutrition, I probably still need to work on that, but I eat pretty good, man. I just don't eat enough, I feel. I've never been a big eater, but nutrition is always something that
you're super lean. I mean, the amount you're expending with training, that's insane amount of calories.
Yeah. I try to eat a lot, but I mean, I've always just had a pretty fast metabolism, and I've always been a skinny kid. So sleep, I'm making sure I'm getting my 8 hours in. I'm realizing I can't just push. That's one area too. I think in the last camp, I didn't prioritize. I got sick the week before, but no excuses. But every time you do this, you're going to get a little bit better at it, right? Mm-hmm. So just learning from those mistakes and making sure everything's on point, professional.
Let's see. What do you do for injury prevention?
A lot of stretching, a lot of yoga. Making sure you warm up. That's something that I really implemented this one. But I really try to stay flexible as possible. Still you got to get your strength training in. That definitely helps. Even reducing injuries. And then your nutrition, everything how you do everything that you're doing kind of plays a part in that. So try to do a lot of that. I do a lot of knees over toe stuff. Thank God I don't really have any knee injuries. But do a lot of stretching, a lot of yoga. A lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of knees over toes training. We have a lot of that here too. We got the tip bar, we got the slant stack.
Yep.
It is crazy. I'll have patients that they have knee pain. They say they got knee pain every time they squat. So I bring them out here to the gym. I put them on the slant stack. I have them squat, and they don't have knee pain anymore. So they're just changing the angle of their squat movement can sometimes resolve a knee pain for these people.
No, his stuff is amazing. Like I pull the sled, do some like knee over toes lunges, and between that, I don't really have any knee pain ever. I'm not going to disclose too much, but I had a little knee injury and healed it up 2-3 weeks, back to good.
Yeah. Let's see here. Do you take any supplements, anything like that?
Protein. I take vitamins.
Yeah.
Like multivitamin, magnesium at night. I try to get. I take NAC as well. Just a little bit that I know. I try to do so.
All right, great. Let's see here. Tell me about the mental side of MMA. You know, handling. You know, tennis is probably one of the most challenging sports out there. You have to be quick. You have to have aerobic, anaerobic. You have to be strong. You have to have mental toughness, coordination. It's like one of the most complete sports. But you don't have somebody trying to punch you in the face doing it. So I think MMA takes like the peak of all sports. You need to have all that, and then someone's trying to punch you in the face while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think mental is the most important for sure. Like you can have all the skills, but in the moment, if your mind's not there and you're not truly 100% locked into the moment, you're leaving yourself at risk. So, no, mentally, it's just doing the work you said you're gonna do, and being able to rely on yourself in the moment, not breaking the promises that you put out for the day. I say I'm gonna go do this, turning all those little more victories into victories instead of a defeat here. So I really just think it's just being able to trust yourself and rely on yourself, stay calm, composed in the moment, and perform. And I've always performed in front of people. Played basketball my whole life, so the crowds that doesn't really affect me too much. It's just being locked into the moment and trusting in your ability, really, and trusting the work that you've been doing.
Well, talk a little bit about that, the difference between a team sport and then being an individual sport.
100%. That I actually like the individual sport better, to be honest. The team sport, you're having to worry about, and sometimes what's best for you isn't best for the team, or vice versa. What's best for the team isn't best for you. So you're taking into account other people's personalities. Maybe, so say for instance, in basketball, maybe we have a star player that is just a head case, and he has to have things go his way for things to run. Maybe the coach is going to cater to him a little bit because he knows if he's not on maybe mentally he's like a short fuse. If he's not on his game, so you're taking into account a lot of other things other than just me. So like maybe you're worried about, okay, I got to get him the ball here because if he doesn't, he's going to shut down, or instead of just playing free. Or you're worried about getting yanked out of the game. There's no one to yank me out of the game in here. If you make a mistake, it's on you. You're still in the cage. There's no one to pull you out. So basketball, you're not looking over your shoulder. You're not worried about other people's emotions and feelings. Team sports are very complex in handling those dynamics for sure.
Yeah. What's your tier list for most difficult sports out there?
Most difficult, gotta be like up there. I'd say MMA is probably very, very difficult. There's so many things to learn, and then just fighting in general is hard. Being composed in such
I agree.
Primal, like everyone's watching, like that's people get nervous playing basketball games, but it's like a fight anyone's gonna be nervous for, you know what I mean? So so I say fighting number one, any combat sport, but MMA number one. It's just so much that can happen. Number two, it's gotta be like tennis, golf, stuff like where it's like just you and not you can't get too high, too low, and then the last shot can't dictate your next shot. I think that's where like bowling, even bowling is tough. Like stuff where it's like it's just me versus me.
Yep.
I think that's like super, super difficult.
It's such an interesting concept. You're fighting against yourself half the time.
Yes, 100%.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah, well, I want to hear about so tennis, professional tennis. Like making it professional tennis is extraordinarily like notorious for being almost impossible. Like being successful financially in professional tennis, because the top 100 players make some money, the top 50 make a lot of money, but everybody below 100 is like grinding it out on the ITF circuit. They're maybe winning a match here or there in South Africa because they got lucky. But other than that, they're out first round, not making any money. Hotels, traveling, stupid expensive to like try to raise the leaderboard on and try to get points. I think it's a little bit different for fighting because it feels like you're selected, you have a fight, you have more training. Tell me about the feasibility.
It's similar to tennis, man.
Is it?
You're grinding, and you're not seeing a bunch of reward. People probably like, you're crazy for doing it, but I mean, like you're saying, the top, they make a lot of money. So it's like you're just grinding to get to that spot. But it's getting better now. There's more leagues. There's other organizations outside of the UFC that are paying more, and I'm at one of my teammates actually, Mike Perry's fighting next week on Netflix versus Nate Diaz. They're gonna do that card out there, so that's opening. If Netflix can get something going, I think the more leagues you have, the better. But it's still the same. It's a lot of grind. It's like, is this gonna work out? But and I think that's why a lot of people don't make it. They don't see if I stick this out another year, maybe I make it to that spot. There's so many good fighters that just get broken by the grind of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think about that also with the team sport dynamic because you need to field a whole team, so you need to pay a lot more players. The chances are probably greater if you choose a sport like soccer or football or basketball that you could actually make it professionally rather than one of these individual sports, which is like a much smaller field of successful people comparatively.
It's about, and you need a lot more things to go right in team dynamics though too. So I think this is more like it's on you. I mean, I've only been doing this 5 years, but I've seen whatever I put into it, that's what I'm going to get out of it. So I like it in that aspect. I mean, basketball, there's like a certain, you got to hit like kind of the genetic lottery a little bit just to get in the league. You got to be at least 6'2", 6'3" plus. Like, so it's a smaller number of people that are even going to be even considered.
That's true.
In fighting, at least they have weight classes. So you can do 5'6", 100 to whatever pounds. It doesn't really matter. If you're the best at your weight or whatever, it's a little bit better for
That's a good
for
point.
that.
More egalitarian.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Tell me, I haven't really understood where the Rastareverend personality comes from.
That was my gamer tag. That's my PlayStation gamer tag. You know, Jamaican heritage. Just was my gamer tag. That's it.
Tag.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. I feel that. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, your best UFC fight picks. I mean, that one was spot on. You said you're not always that good, but
yeah, fights are hard to predict, man. Anything can happen.
Anything happen.
A couple times I've been very close. Maybe one off or.
Tell me, if you could train with any UFC fighter, who would it be and why?
Any UFC fighter? Max Holloway is my favorite fighter, so we got to go Max Holloway. But I do train with some UFC fighters now, so it's always great. I train with Lyoto Machida a little bit, Phil Rowe, Mike Davis, Terrence McKinney. So I'm in a room with a lot of good guys. So
you're learning from the greats.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm living my dream already, I feel.
So in tennis, there's this software known as Oracle, and it rates a player based off their match wins, their how many points they get in a game, or how many games they win in a set. It's a statistical algorithm. So I'm rated an 8.8 UTR level. The top in the world, Novak Djokovic, they're a 16 UTR. So there's a big difference, right? Even when I play these local tournaments in Florida, if I'm playing against a 11 UTR, even a 10 UTR, 12 UTR, forget about it, 13 UTR. Is there like a rating system that kind of determines the skill set divide in these fights?
Not so much. No, I don't think so. I don't think they have anything close to that. Not of my knowledge, at least.
What separates then this? So I've followed Rise of Warrior. I've seen these fights. What separates that league from like UFC?
Excuse me. Level of athlete. Usually top level athletes are gonna be like I'm just talking like pure athleticism. Is this guy not genetically, but like his athletic ability outside of just fighting, like the best, like. A lot of these UFC guys, they're just really good athletes. They could have played whatever sport they wanted to or whatever, you know what I mean? And then just experience doing it. How many years they've been training, just really the reps, man. And the mental. it's hard to describe like what really separates this guy from this guy. But a lot of the times, some people just can't get it done on the day. Like they don't perform well. I don't know what it is. You'll see some guys. There's a lot of guys that are amazing in the gym. They're beating up your favorite fighter, but you don't know who he is. He's just it's a guy who maybe had a couple losses early in his career, never really got his shot. Maybe he doesn't perform well, and they're giving the UFC guys really good work. But it's just a lot of that. It's kind of hard to say. Just like experience doing it, just the reps of doing it, and I can't really put a finger on like what's the big difference. But they're just I don't know how to say. It's something you can't really quantify too much. It's like you're in the gym, you can hang around, but on the day it's a little different in a fight. It's kind of hard to compare. Like,
well, how does one go from amateur to like pro UFC? How does that happen?
How does it? Oh, okay. Well, when you go from amateur, your record starts over. So when you go pro, you're 0-0 again. You could get to maybe 5 or 6-0. You can get on Dana White Contender Series. From there, if you win that fight, you get in the UFC. So like that's how they're doing it now. That's the main way. Get a good record as a pro, maybe 5-6-0. You'll probably get a call from the UFC. Maybe take a short notice fight. Maybe like someone pulled out of a fight, they have an injury, they need a guy to fill in. I know one of my teammates, Val Woodburn, ended up fighting. I don't know if you know Bo Nickel. He got in the UFC that way. So that's mainly the way. Get a good record as a pro, 5-6-0, 7-0. UFC is gonna start calling.
So what you're currently considered amateur, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm fighting pro level fights though.
Right.
So.
I've seen them. But then how do you go to pro from that?
I think you just need 5 combat bouts. I have 7 across all disciplines. So I could have won already, but I'm going to go, you go 5 combat bouts and you can go. Whenever you think you're ready, you can go. You can, if you want more fights than that. But when you go pro, your record is 0-0. And if it can't erase any of those losses. So as an amateur, you kind of just learn, grow, and go from there.
I see.
So this is gonna be my last one. I'm gonna dominate this one, and we'll look to go pro next.
Okay. And where do they host the pro fights?
All around the state. You went to that one in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was a pro show. They had the pros that were after me.
Yeah.
The Rise of a Warrior you went to maybe a year and a half ago. I was like the main event of the amateur card, and then the pros were after. So it's all over the state. So same type of feeder. I'm just got to keep fighting with the same promotion, and
okay, that makes
job.
sense.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, very good. So people can find you on Instagram, Rastareverend. I'll put the tag in the description.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll see you at the May 30th fight.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. It's going to be a good one.
All right, I'll see you around. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Pleasure.